I am in a happy mood. So hello, 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 hello. We aren't being late. We're just, you did a live stream. Hooray! Huzzah to Stephen. Mazel tov, mazel tov. That's wonderful, 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 wonderful. So I had a fantastic, fantastic weekend. We I drove with some friends. We went down to Fort Myers to a Connecting with Your Soul event. It was really cool, and got to meet the really remarkable Anthony Profeta. Anthony is a sound healer and really, really nice guy, and just really smart, really tuned in. And if you have an interest in following him on Instagram, his name is Anthony Profeta, Profeta, and he was just the nicest. His talk was just super, super exciting and really enjoyable. I am also very excited because we have moved the Unspooling Your DNA class to a better platform. So I am just thrilled. We've put it up on YouTube. And so if you have not yet purchased the the Unspooling Your DNA Manifesting with the Universe class online, you can get that now with the workbook. It's all one package, so it's much easier. And we put it on YouTube, so it's going to be easier for people to access it. And when you purchase, we'll send you an individualized link. So really excited about that. And also, so excited, our new online class that is coming, hoping to open enrollment, look for that March 1st, is the Empowered Empath Method. I am so excited about this. We've been working really hard. The Empowered Empath Method is coming to you. And online enrollment, open enrollment, which will include a live Q&A with me, will be coming for March 1st. That is the plan. That is the goal. So very, very excited for that, and been working on that. So I'm just, it's very exciting. We know that we've come out of the new moon. We've come out of the eclipses. I don't know about you all, but technology was just being a bitch for a little while there. But Mercury retrograde is going to start on March 1st. No, Mercury retrograde is going to start on Thursday of this week. So we know we're in the pre-window, right? We know we're in the pre-window. But we know that also that Mercury retrograde is here to show us things and bring things up that we are not ready to wanting to deal with, right? So also just one more little bit of housekeeping as I'm trying to get this. One more little bit of housekeeping. We have the background behind me is what I use for my podcast. Beyond the Loss. It's on A1R Psychic Radio on Facebook, on YouTube. It's on Moonstruck TV on YouTube. It's also on Ask AskPsychicRadio.com. There's lots of places you can find it. You can scroll up. It's pinned to the top of my page, but we are only going to be there for one more month. And then we're moving. I'm so excited. We're moving to a much bigger, better platform. So really excited. Also, okay, one more, really, really excited. I have been invited to speak about grief on a radio show for the Lilydale Assembly. So that's going to be this Sunday night at 7, and I believe you can watch it live. I would be thrilled for you all to tune in. And that is going to be on Lilydale Assembly's Facebook page. So you can just put in, and for any of you who don't know what Lilydale is a town in New York called Lilydale, and it's a spiritualist camp. Now, for those of you here in Florida, that's going to be like Casadega, but Lilydale is the OG, right? Casadega is the winter home, the snowbird place, right, for all the mediums, and it's much smaller. Lilydale is a whole town. They've got a whole lot of stuff that goes on. They've got a huge summer season where they do mediumship, and you can work with mediums and take classes and all kinds of things all day and all night. It is really a magnificent, famous, incredible place with incredible energy. And their Facebook page is Lilydale Assembly. That's the Facebook page. And if you follow the page, you will be able to see me as I have been invited to be guests on this radio show on Sunday at 7. So we're really, really excited. Yay, lots of good things happening. And what was so cool was when I was talking to the radio show host who had invited me, she said, well, on my podcast, we really focus on, mind, body, and spirit. And I just thought, oh, I see you there, spirit. I see you there, because just that little thing right there was a big hint as to where our podcast is moving to. So I just can't wait to tell you more about that. But for right now, Unspooling Your DNA has moved to YouTube, so you can get the class and the workbook together. The Empowered Empath Method is coming, and so excited. And then this radio show, and I'm so sorry because I don't even know that I know the name of the radio show, but it will be Sunday night at 7 o'clock on Lilydale Assembly, and that is a huge. Lilydale is the site of a lot of Supernatural episodes. So, Supernatural, the TV show Supernatural. Sure, there is a whole lot of supernatural stuff that happens at Lilydale. That is for sure. So that makes perfect sense. I am aware of the show. I am not a follower, but yes, Lilydale, amazing, amazing place. All right. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So now look, we talked about this last week, right? We had Saturn and Neptune that moved, and these are big planets. They don't move, they're not quick movers. They're going to sit where they are for a while, but we're coming. I told you last week, we were coming into this time of the truth tellers, right? We know that we've been in the throat chakra for a while, right? And if you follow me around for a while, you might have heard me talk about my theory of humanity's evolution through the chakras. Okay. And so we have been in the throat chakra for quite a bit of time here. And we've seen it with, and really we've been in and out of the throat chakra really since the 60s. But this, really in the last 10 years or so, we've been in this time of the throat chakra. We're seeing marches, we're seeing protests, we're seeing unionizing, we're seeing wars, we're seeing, just a lot of unrest, which is sad and frustrating and, heartbreaking and all the words. But at the same time, this is people who are screaming their truth, who are screaming to be heard, who are really wanting to get something out, okay, and to be heard. And for so many, many years, we have had so many people who just had no voice, whether that was women, whether that was African Americans during the time of slavery, whether that was people in foreign countries that are considered right now. We see this with women in Afghanistan with the Taliban resurgence. We can see this with some protests we've seen over the years in France and even in so many other countries, right? So this is the time of the voice. But the problem is that we have had all of this screaming, and nobody's listening, right? And so people are listening to the surface of, nothing deeper, like whatever the headline is, then people are like, oh, that must be the truth, right? And so there's been a lot of belief in false information that is, hey, Chris, can you send Robin Shapiro a reply for me? I see you, Robin, I really do. So we've seen is a lot of people who are hitting the surface. They say, oh, I saw it on Facebook, I saw it online, I saw that, quote from Abraham Lincoln complaining about his cell phone, so it must be true, right? And so we have, all of this where we're not listening. And so after the throat chakra is the ears, right? And so what's interesting is we're coming with this time with Neptune, Saturn, and moving that we talked about last week. It is really this time of people are starting to listen, because what we don't want right now, and we see this shift, just look at the news, we can see the shift, is don't tell me your lies and your baloney. I'm not interested. I want the truth. So if you're going to say something to me, show me the facts. Show me, remember, just the facts, Jack, right? So this is where we're coming back into this time, this place is just the facts, Jack. So into this place is this opportunity for us to really demand the truth, demand more information. And we're seeing this happen in other countries, and it will eventually get to America. And so people are not wanting to be led blindly by their nose. They're wanting to know the truth of their situation, of their relationships, their connections, the places where they're spending money, the people they're believing in, their politicians, their newscasters, their neighbors, whatever it is. We are wanting to come back into alignment. And this is a part of humanity coming back into alignment. It is now searching for truth. Okay. And so we know there's always going to be people who are never going to believe the truth, even if it was smacking them in the face. But it is an opportunity for humanity to start listening. And it is very encouraging that we are seeing that shift begin to come from the throat chakra into the ear chakras, right? Because after that is going to come enlightenment from the third eye, the ajna, and into the crown chakra, right? So this is, thank you, Chris, so much. So this is this really important shifting time. And so it's encouraging to see that we're starting to see the shift. Now, you've heard me say a million times, energy does not switch on and off like a light switch, right? So just because we're starting to see us move into the ear chakra does not mean the time of the throat chakra is over. It's a blend and we overlap, and these things are not like, well, on day one, this started, and on day 10, we switched to this. Okay. It's not like a diet where you do certain things on certain days. This is going to be bleeding and not the right word, bleeding, but this is going to be blending together for a while. Okay. And then we are going to see the enlightenment. We are going to see the third eye come into play, but we're moving, and it's nice to see that there's upward mobility here in the chakras, because it tells us that we are growing as humans. We are growing as society, and we are growing tired of just blah, blah, blah. And we want more, what is that saying? All flash, no substance, right? And so people are wanting to come more into substance. Show me the substance. Okay. So that is very, very exciting. All right. I have something interesting today because I got this deck of cards. This is crystals. This is a crystal oracle deck. Now, I haven't used it a lot, but I just was so fascinated by it. And I just thought, well, it was kind of calling to me. And I thought, well, let's shake it up a little bit. We will go back into, we'll get our archangel and we'll get our soul coaching and all that. But I just felt like we were being asked to get a little grounded, especially with Mercury retrograde right now. Now, okay, here's the saying about Mercury retrograde, because it's coming, right? It's 3 days away. We're in it. Okay. The technically starts where Mercury will go. And let me quick explain about Mercury retrograde in case somebody is not familiar. Retrograde simply means that the planet appears to be going backwards. Now think about this. If you are riding on the highway and you're not in the left lane, the fast lane, and you are going in the lane and the other person passes you, it looks like you're going backwards, but you're not. You're still going the same speed. You're still going the same direction. It looks like you're going backwards and you're not. Okay. So this is the thing that the planet appears to be going backwards as it goes, as Earth passes by, and it looks like Mercury retrograde is going backwards. Okay. So that changes the energy between the two planets, and it causes that retrograde. Now, retrograde is not designed to screw you up. And everybody's like, oh, Mercury retrograde. Retrograde is not designed to mess up your life. Retrograde is designed to help you see what you've been unwilling to see. What relationship have you been not wanting to address or to mend or to heal within self? Even if we don't heal with the other person, to heal within self. I did something this week, and I know it's going to be, received like crap, but I didn't do it for her. I did it for me. That it was just, pictures that I thought, boy, when we had a good relationship, I probably did share these pictures with them at the time. And I just had these pictures, and I thought, I would really like for them to have them. Whatever they choose to do with them is not for me. And so it just made me feel good to send the pictures, because that helps to heal and mend the energy, for me. So you know, this is retrograde is designed to bring things to the surface for us to look at. We don't necessarily have a mandate that we've got to fix it now, but it's something that the universe is trying to get you to notice. So if things are coming up for you and you keep seeing the same things over and over, people keep saying the same things over and over again to you, like I keep hearing, mind, body, spirit, mind, body, spirit. I know that there's something the universe is trying to get me to see. Okay, so just be open. Be open. Don't be in a panic. Okay, and if your phone acts weird or your, you know, key fob doesn't work, just take a breath. Thank you for whatever it is you're trying to show me right now. And that might just be to get me to slow down for a minute. But could you please make my thing work so I can continue forward, and I will do my best to be open to what you're trying to show me. And 9 times out of 10, that will actually work. Okay. Oh, I didn't turn my light. Hang on. I forgot to turn my light. All right. Look at me. All right. So I have this deck of crystal cards, and I just thought, you know, we'll just pick one and just see what's going on and what do we need to know. So these are Argonite. They're red, which is the base chakra, right? The root chakra. This is Argonite. It says, like iron patinaed flowers forged by tiny hammers. It forms in geometric bursts called star clusters. And anybody who's feeling a little out of alignment or in need of a major reset. Okay, this is Argonite. And red stones, being connected to the base chakra, are really great for grounding. Okay, grounding. It's also a really great thing to put by your front door. I love working with crystals, and I just thought, well, maybe it'd be fun to bring in some crystal information for our time together. Red stones are great to be put by your front door for money, and also for protection of what's coming in your front door. So we have some in by our front door as well, to be able to make sure that anybody that's coming in is coming in with blessing and light, and not any kind of, you know, don't bring your drama in here. And actually the gentleman that was here to fix my garage door was so sweet. He said, you seem like you have really fun energy. It's nice here. I said, yeah, people really like it here. So that was a big compliment. I really appreciate that. All right. So let's see from Kyle Gray, which of our archangels is with us today. I will tell you, I've been so busy today, I didn't even have a chance to look at Kyle's weekly Monday email, but if he said something magical and that is connected to what we're talking about, I promise I'll make sure to copy and post it up on the page for you as well. So this is Metatron. Oh gosh, I love Metatron. I do. I love Metatron. And it's not just because I love Alan Rickman as an actor. So if you're not aware, Alan Rickman played Metatron, which was the voice of God in the movie, what is it with the fallen angels? Shoot, I love this movie. George Carlin and so many people, Selma Hayek and Chris Rock as Black Jesus. I mean, just a fabulous movie. And I know you guys know what movie I'm talking about, so somebody just shouted out because it just went right out of my brain. But Metatron is the voice of God, but Metatron is also the one who shows up for new adventures, for new, when we start to step out into the universe, we step out and we say, oh, I don't want to do this. Metatron comes in right behind us and says, hey, listen, this is, I got you. I'm with you, right? Dang, that's going to bug me. Somebody tell me the name of this movie. And hey, Chris, I see you. I see you. Hang in there. We do collective card reading, and then we'll do individual card reading. So I see you, my new friend. I see you. So we have, and you can scroll up and see the comment that Chris made for Robin Shapiro. She explains everything. So Metatron is here. It says, heaven to earth, your current situation is in alignment with where your mission is on earth. Okay. Because Metatron is here. And when I was really, you know, reopening myself to all of this stuff, I really did feel Metatron behind me behind my shoulder blades. And it was just a wonderful thing to be able to feel him support and have that like pressing forward, keep going, right? And to feel that support coming in from Metatron. Now, Metatron is one of the top archangels. He's up there with Michael, right? We don't necessarily hear about him so much, but he does really is the, like I said, the voice of God, the right hand angel up there. So when you are asking for archangels, and sometimes I know we all reach to Archangel Michael first, and when we move with Michael, and if we, I would find that when I would reach out to Michael, he would often send Metatron because that was what I needed. Okay, so. I really got in the habit of just reaching straight up to Metatron because he was so wise and so loving in his energy, and it was just a wonderful partnership. And still, when I'm working on something new, I say, okay, come on, let's work together. Let's work together. So that's just really important. And so I love that Metatron is here as we're moving into this new phase, and also as we're moving right into Mercury retrograde. Because remember, Mercury retrograde is there designed to help bring things forward that we've been unwilling to see. So Metatron is like, okay, let's go. It's time to make a move on this. It's time to move forward. Okay, so we've got a couple of cards from the Denise Lynn Soul Coaching deck, which is one of my new favorite decks. And so what do we need to know? What do we most need to know to help us get through this week right now? And this is the impeccability card. Now, it is upside down. I don't always know that that I feel like these, Dogma! The winner! Dogma! Thank you, Sharon. That was really bugging my left brain. Dogma! Yes, the movie's such a great movie. If you've never seen it, it is hilarious. You have Ben Affleck and Matt Damon as fallen angels who want to like end Earth and be able to go home to heaven. And it's just, I mean, it is a fantastic, fantastic movie. Thank you, Sharon. Okay, so I don't always feel that the cards in this particular deck go upside down. Some creators, when they create the deck, they do create the cards to specifically have a right side up and an upside down meaning. And you know, sometimes it tells me that that card's just upside down and it doesn't need to be read that way. And so this is impeccability. And this is card 28, which is 2 and 8 is 10, right? So this is new adventures, new, because 1 and 0 is 1, right? Just like we're in a 1 year right now. But you see the Akashic book, right? You see the Akashic temple, you see the book of life, right? That's here. That says, listen, we're not talking about being impeccable, like everything is straight, everything is perfect, everything's in its place. We're not talking about that. With impeccability, what we're talking about is authenticity. We're talking about being impeccable with our words. We're talking about being true to who we are. We're talking about being impeccable in ourselves, of our core beliefs and values, that we're not sacrificing ourselves for, you know, whatever, and that we are being true to who we are. Living in authenticity, this is where this impeccability card comes in. It's not about, oh, that's untidy. No, no, no. It's not that. We're not trying to be like, you know, fussy. It is about being true to yourself. So this card is really about authenticity. And so what are we writing in the book of life? And if you knew that it was going to be written in the book of your life for all your lifetimes to see, would you still say it? Just saying. Okay. All right. So what else do we need to know to help us what's going on this week, right? Because what else do we need to know? This is the pleasure card. I love this. This is the pleasure card. It is 39. 3 and 9 is 12, right? 9, 10, 11, 12. And 12, 2 and 1 is 3. We know that 3 is that number that tells us there is more to the story here. There's more that's going on. But listen, take time for self. Take time for self-care. Take time to really, give yourself a minute, which especially right now is coming into Mercury retrograde. And as we're going to be approaching into the full moon next week, this is a really important time that we're making sure we're taking some self-care. Okay. So as we're looking at, am I being authentic in myself, in my way I'm living my life, in the way I'm using my words, and the way I'm showing up? Where am I folding in that pleasure? Something for fun, right? Not everything needs to be, work related. What can you do that's just for fun? That's just because you wanna, okay? And it doesn't have to be major. It really doesn't. After, when COVID hit, I went back to crocheting because I suddenly had a lot of time on my hands. I love to crochet. I love to do this kind of a crafting, and I'm really good at it. And it was really enjoyable. And then when, life got super busy after, the pandemic, things were getting back to normal and everybody wanted to, stuff. And I put it to the side. And just over the last several weeks, I picked it back up again. I made a beautiful blanket for my girlfriend who had a baby. And it just something very simple that even if I just do 15, 20 minutes in the evening while I'm just vegging out, calming down from the end of the day before I go to bed. It's just something. It doesn't have to be for anybody. I just happened that I was making a baby blanket of a pattern that I liked, and happened that my girlfriend was having a baby, and I said, well, this is great. Here you go. It wasn't made specifically for her. It was made because I wanted to make, right? So what is the something that you could do? Could you go out and look at the sunset? Could you walk your dog? Could you read a book? Could you play on a piano? What is it that's just even for 15 minutes that you could give yourself just something that is just because you want to? just because you want to, because that is really important because that's part of being in alignment. That's part of being in our authenticity, because these are the things that recharge your batteries, that fill up your energy. So where is the hiccup? Where is the speed bump that we need to be aware of, that we need to be like, whoop, whoop, dodge that? Okay. Where is that? And that is faith. Okay. And again, this card upside down, but we're asked today to turn it right side up, and that's faith. Okay. So the place where the speed bump is where we don't buy in. Okay. We don't buy in. So when I was driving back from Fort Myers, and I was talking to my girlfriend who was riding with me as a veterinarian, and we were talking about a sign from her partner who's in spirit. And I said, oh, well, look at this pickup truck that's in front of us that has, those heartbeat signs, right? And then they put like a heart in the middle. Like we saw a lot of that here in Central Florida after the Pulse tragedy. You see the heartbeat signal, but then it'll like boop a little heart in there. So this one was the heartbeat signal, and it didn't only just boop a little heart in there, it booped a whole horse. So it had, boop a horse and then boop a heart. And I said, oh my gosh, because I knew she grew up with horses and that she had manifested herself a horse at 11 years old. And so I knew the horse was very, very specific. And I said, oh my gosh, look at that. That's a sign. And she says, don't be silly. We're driving all around here and there's horse property everywhere. There's horses all over the place. I said, really? Because as I were looking around, all I saw was cows. Lots and lots of cows. Pastures, cows, cows. And she's like, yeah, these are all horse properties. And I said, well, when you see one, you point it out to me. No horses, just cows. And so I said, well, you can say it's a sign, or you can say it's not a sign, and it's up to you. And then we saw like one or two more horse references. I didn't see any horses. I didn't see any horse property. But I said, listen, this is faith. This is something that says when we see a sign that we say, that's a sign. Or even if we say that could be a sign. But what we don't want to say is, nah, that's not a sign. That's not a sign. Because they're on the other side going, come on, right? So the faith. So when I ask the universe, I say, what is the thing that's going to trip us up today, this week? What do we need to be aware of that's going to keep us moving forward? That isn't, where's that speed bump that we need to worry about? It's make sure we have our faith on, okay? Make sure, and this is not religion. We're not talking about religion. I'm talking about when the universe shows up or somebody says that thing, like this woman I don't know very well, and she's lovely, and we've crossed paths a few times, and she out of the blue called me and said, would you be on my radio show? We're focusing on mind, body, and spirit, and we'd like to talk to you about the grief work that you're doing. And I went, out of the blue, mind, body, spirit, I have an important meeting about moving my podcast this week. Hello? How many times you got to get hit in the head? That's a sign. And so it's our left brain that says, nah. Let's say yes. Let's have some faith. So that's the place where we get tripped up, because then they can't go forward. If we say that's not the thing, we close the door. They can't do more because we've said no. But we say yes. That's a sign. Show me what else you got. Yes. Open that door. What else is behind there? They go, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Let's go forward. Now we can do some blessing for you. Now we can move some crap out of your way. Now we can go forward. Okay. So speaking of now we can go forward, let's do some card readings for you all. All right. Let's do some card readings for you. Sharon, you are my hero today. Dogma. I can't believe I can never remember the name of that movie. It is such a good movie. It's dark and kind of black comedy, dark comedy, but it is hilarious. Oh, Alanis Morissette is God. It's hilarious. Alanis Morissette is God. If you have not seen this movie, it's like from the 80s. I mean, but it is such a classic. All right, if you're ready for cards, throw those in the comments for me, and let's get some stuff. Oh, let me do our Malachim while I'm waiting for you all. Our Malachim are the Israel, they're Hebrew, English, and Arabic angel cards. They're conceptualized cards, right? And so I do want to say, I know we're a couple days into Ramadan, because Ramadan was on the new moon a couple days ago. I don't know what the proper greeting is for Ramadan, but if Ramadan is something that is happening in your world and your day-to-day fasting and feasting, I hope you're having a healthy, safe, joy-filled, peaceful Ramadan. So, all right. So let me grab a couple of these. We just get these two. They're like, I always just pick two. That's what I was taught, told, instructed by on high. Oh, I love that. You can't make it up, you all. So this is hope, which is Hatikva, but that's not how it's been written here, and success. Hatzlacha. Okay, so this is hope and success. Okay, hope and success. And now the idea of these cards is that they lay over top of everything we've just talked about, right? They lay over top just to give us a little bit more depth to what we've already talked about, a little bit more information. It says, hey, listen, we just talked about faith, right? We just ended with faith. And so when we have faith, which is the same as hope, then we say there's success is guaranteed in there. Success is tied in with hope. Success is tied in with faith. I know it's tikva, but it says, oh, of course it says it's tikva. Of course it is. It's the tet and the kaf. I'm looking for the hey. Of course it's tikva. And then hatzlacha, that I know is success. So, all right. So we have these, which I just think these are fascinating. And they just are just as much little eavesdroppers as all the others. All right. So I see you all. If you have already put in your request for a card, please do not put in another one because there's only this much space where I can see the comments. And so you're going to push somebody else out. And then I'll miss somebody. So the cards, individual cards, I'm going to call you in the order that I see your name in the comments. Please don't put your request for a personal card in more than once. Okay. All right. So let me see where we started. It is very much first come, first serve in this. So Sharon, the winner of today's Dogma contest, and then Ellen, and then Robin, I'm assuming that big old yes is for you, that you said you'd like a card, because I know you asked me for before. All right, Sharon, card for Sharon. This is action. Now that is very interesting. This is card number 1, action. You have been very busy of late, I know. And I'm hoping still that our paths will be able to cross while you're in the southern world of Florida. But this is really reminding you about the things that are for you, as opposed to the things that are not for you. And so here we have this wonderful archer that he is, and this is card number 1. So this is a new adventure card. But look at where he's aiming. Okay, he's aiming his fire arrow almost right through this little break in the clouds, almost. Okay, and so you're talking about, where are you aiming? Where are you putting your action? Where are you putting your focus? Okay, where is your focus? And so this is what we're talking about with this action card for Sharon, is nothing right or wrong, just taking a look, taking a minute. Okay, because if you've ever watched the archery guys at the Summer Olympics, boy, is that fascinating. And they get up there and they're like, and they wait and they take a breath, and then they let go, right? So they're just asking you to take a look at where you're putting your focus, okay? So a little bit of discernment, a little bit of discretion, just checking out where your focus is, okay? All right, Ellen Jane. And then we have Robin. You guys are awesome. All right, Ellen, this is the card of peace. I love this card. It is so pretty. Look at these gorgeous cherry trees, dogwoods, bougainvilleas, whatever. They are just so gorgeous, right? But this is the card of peace. So Ellen, they're asking you to just have some faith. They're asking you to be at peace, to allow things to unfold. There's still some unfolding that's coming around you, Ellen. This is card number 37, which is a 10, which again is another 1 card, right? 10, 1, 0 is 1. This is a new adventure. And Ellen, things are unfolding for you. They're unfolding for you perfectly as they are meant to allow, okay? Because we get a little worried about, I don't have control over how this is going to work itself out. And what they're talking about is, you don't need to have control. We got you. We've got you, okay? So have a little faith and just allow things to unfold, because they're going to unfold for your benefit. I promise you that. All right. Robin Shapiro, okay, so we've got lots of little hand gestures. So we've got Robin, then we've got Gia and Chris, and we've got more people. So not to worry. Robin, this is leadership. This is leadership. Now this is 31. So 3 and 1 is 4. And with 4, we talk about 4 legs of the chair or table that gives you something solid to sit on, that tells you you are being supported. Okay. But this card is a lighthouse, Robin. And with a lighthouse, we talk about with leadership, a lighthouse shines its light out to assist others, okay? And so there's been a lot for you where we have needed to shine some light for you and really needed to give that love and support for you, and none of that changes. But what they're talking about is, it's time for you to think about, and know you're being supported from beyond, that it's time for you to think about sharing your light and sharing your story in a way to help other people. Okay, and so this is an important card, because this is a lighthouse, right? And that it's saying, it is not like the Luxor Hotel in Vegas, which I don't even know if it's there anymore, but it had the light on the top of the pyramid, right? And you could see it from space. This is no, don't shine your light out to the nothing, shine your light so others can see, to make the journey easier and supported for other people so that they may have not have to have the difficult walk. Okay. So this is where they're talking about sharing your light. Okay. Then you don't have to like completely upend what you're doing, but they're asking you to think about how you can give something back out to the universe and back out to community. Okay. And I know you and I've talked a little bit, so I'm going to leave that there, and I'm pretty sure you're understanding. All right. We've got Gia, and then we've got Chris. All right. Something business related. All right. So Gia, I love that name, Gia. All right. Power. The lowest card, 40. So this is 4. You literally just heard me talking about 4, right? This is about using your power wisely. Okay. Elephants are strong. They stomp through the jungle. They push over trees, but he's not shaking his head. He's not, this is talking about stepping into your power. And remember, 4, you're be supported, right? But they're talking about using your power with discernment, right? You know that saying about the bull in the china shop? I got boys, right? And so my boys, they loved watching Mythbusters when it was on the air. And they have watched this episode of the bull in the china shop probably 100 times, because the bull, they set up the china shop, and the bull was actually super careful and didn't knock over a darn thing in the china shop that they had set up for this experiment in the bullpen, right? The bull was using its power and its bulk and its heft strategically. Okay, he wasn't throwing his weight around. He was using discernment and discretion and deciding where he needed to push stuff over. So in the end, because the bull wouldn't do it, they knocked everything over. That was just part of the, fun of the show. But Gia, this is asking you to use your power for good. This is asking you to use your power from a place of love and discernment to see, how can I use my power for good? We are blessed with so much power. We have so much more power than we think that we do. And Gia, they're asking you, kind of like what we were talking about with Robin, is where can you shine that light on somebody else? Where can you make that path easier for somebody else by using your power for good? They're telling you, you are very strong, you are very wise, and that you have a lot of power that you are not utilizing. They're asking you to consider, could you be utilizing it a little better? We want to use our power for good, not for anger and rage. Okay. So that's hard. I know that's hard, especially with everything in the world right now. That could be super duper hard, right? Okay. But they're telling you, you have this power and capability, that you are much stronger than you think you are. So step into what you already own. Okay. I look forward to hearing more about that. All right. Chris Judd, a card for something business related. All right. Communication. And this is 11. So you have the intelligence, the very sharp intelligence of the tiger, and the curious, beautiful, pure heart of the little girl. And I love this card because it really looks like she's got this divine thought bubble coming right down into her brain. And she's telling the wisdom, the wise tiger, the strategic tiger, what's the what. Okay, she's got the truth here, right? And I love this because it's 11, which means we're paired, we're partnered, we are not walking alone. We know there's love and support that's with us, right? Because 1 and 1 is 2. But I love this because the tiger is smart, it's strategic, it's stealthy, right? And then the little girl comes in with her curiosity and her love and her fun and whimsy. And so this, for the business part, because I know some of the things that are behind this question, where I feel like this is to allow some whimsy to come in and be in with the wisdom, okay? To allow some whimsy to be part of the wisdom. So I hope that makes sense for you. All right, so Chris, all right, and Sharon, always my Hebrew guru. All right, so Chris, give me a hello. So I'm hoping you are going to put me in a question again. So Stephen, all right, Stephen and Catherine, and we're going to come back. If I didn't see Chris, make sure that I come back. Okay, so Stephen, surrender. Okay, did you not get this card last week? This is 48, which is 12, which is 3. So Stephen, this feels vaguely familiar to me. So I'm not sure if you did not get this card last week about just letting things flow, letting things go, allow things to unfold, let things process as they will. But this is definitely, talking about that for you. Okay. We saw that episode and it always resonated. Oh, okay. The Lily Dell. I think we're talking about Lily Dell. Okay. So Stephen, they're just, take your foot off the gas, my friend. Okay, just allow things to unfold, allow things to go forward as they will. Okay, because this is the card of surrender, and it says, but you can see that the water is peaceful, the sky is peaceful, the little deer is peaceful, right? Everything is okay. Just let it. You don't have to have your, and I love that because, as I'm remembering, you did just say at the beginning of the podcast of our time together today, you did just say you did your a live stream, and you really had to just let go of some control and let things happen how they were going to happen. And I love that because this is and you know that your energy loves a confirmation card, and so this is a confirmation card in that says let it flow, and it will, and that's proof of what you had just done today. So have this again as a confirmation card. Your energy loves a confirmation card, but this is just allowing things to flow because they will, not feeling like you got to control it all. Okay. All right, Catherine. And Sharon says, yes, she's been very busy. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I think that's awesome. All right. And there's Chris coming back. Okay. About work and family. All right. So you've got Catherine and then Chris. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So Catherine, wisdom. This is wisdom. This is 52. This is 5 and 2 is 7. And this is the great owl, right? And the great owl, he is flying in the tree. And look at all that light that's behind him, okay? And 52 is 7. So this is a change in direction card, okay? So we've got that 7 that tells us this change in direction, right? So in this, Catherine, they're asking you as you're making decisions to go forward about what's right for you, that you're using your own wisdom and your own discernment. Now you're staying in your lane for this. They're not talking about using your wisdom to help other people to make their decisions. They're talking about as you're making the decisions to make sure that you're making the decisions that are right for you and that you are staying in your lane, but that you are using that wisdom to be able to help others. But right now, this feels very much like a put the oxygen mask on your own self first moment, and then to be able to share your wisdom with others. So this really feels like your change in direction, your choices, your decisions first, and then to have the opportunity to share that wisdom with others. So unlike the little girl and the tiger, this is very much about you staying in your lane with your wisdom and making the decisions that are right for you first. Okay. All right. So let's shift over to Chris, who's been very patient. And Dogwood is always special. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then, hello, Lynette. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. So, Chris, we have light. Love this. Light. Okay. So, about work and family, they're asking you to connect more with your higher guidance and more about your intuition and less about the left brain, which is the logic and the ego center, right? And this card is 32. So 3 and 2 is 5, which tells us we're in the crossroads. We're in the middle of the road. Okay. We're in the middle of the road. And this is a time for you to get to choose which direction you want to go. But what they're talking about is making those decisions and allowing that intuition. You have very strong intuition, it feels like. And so allowing this to come in and let these things guide you rather than, like what I was saying to Stephen a minute ago, feeling like you have to control everything. You let that intuition nudge you and try not to dismiss it. Allow that the light is trying to point the way for you and to be looking for those signs and symbols. So there is an expansion that's coming towards you. Okay. This does feel like an expansion of work, not necessarily an expansion of family, but it does say that there is a lot of light that is around you. I mean, she is literally surrounded in every direction by light. So that tells us this is a very positive time for you. But one of the things can happen when we get into stuff where things are like so good, we feel like we might need to sabotage it because I know something bad's going to happen, right? No, erase, right? We don't need to do that. They're telling us we don't need to do this. Welcome in the light. Let the light be the co-creator and the collaborator with you, and know that there is a business expansion that's coming for you. And it's really important that you know that this is really surrounded by a lot of light for you right now, so that when that left brain ego wants to control and say, no, there must be another shoe that's going to drop, you can just be like, shh, the light. Okay. And so you heard me talk a little bit before about seeing those signs and not disregarding those. So please take that part to heart, because this is where they come in and they're saying like, hey, look over there. Okay. So this is a really important time that for you they're talking really about leaning in and trusting, right? And the more we lean in and trust, the more that they can do for us. And the more that they can do for us, the more we lean in and trust, and the more they can do for us, and da, 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 da. Okay. So they're really asking you to have this faith and just know that you are being really bathed in the light right now, because there is expansion that's coming that's going to really be a blessing. But it's important we don't mess it up on our own selves, right? Okay. All right. All right. Welcome back. Okay. Gia. Chris. Okay. Be supportive of your partner. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. All right, so this week, Stephen, it's talking about surrendering and allowing things to flow as they go. And clearly that was how you started off your Monday. So, kudos for you. You are welcome, Chris Judd. Okay. Chris, as you were asking about, where'd y'all go? Okay. Okay, so you were asking about work and family. So as I said, there's an expansion around business. There's an expansion around work. So I'm going to say that that's a yes, okay, because it just feels like there's a lot of light around an expansion for your work, okay? So fantastic. All right, so the last live Stephen did was in, wow, 20,000 views in an hour. Y'all need to get some magic sauce on YouTube of what Stephen is doing. That is awesome. Gia, you are welcome. You are welcome. Everybody, you are welcome. All right. As is our way, we will pull one more card for the collective just to kind of close it all out. And this is the gratitude card. No shocker there, right? I'm always telling you that love and gratitude are the engines of the universe, right? But this is 26. This is 2 and 6. Okay. This is 8. Now, I got to say something a little bit different about this right now, because Eric Dane, the actor who played on Euphoria and on Grey's Anatomy, had passed this past weekend, and Eric Dane was diagnosed with ALS, and I think he was about 52 in his passing. And ALS, if you're not familiar, is Lou Gehrig's disease. It is just a horrible, horrible disease. Nobody really knows what causes it, and it just, your body dies and, your mind is still perfectly fine. It is the opposite of Alzheimer's, right? Where the mind goes and the body is still kicking, right? So one of the things he said, because you can go on YouTube and you can see his final interview, and he was talking about his, talking to his kids and what he wanted them to know. And one of the things that he said was about do things now, because we don't have all the time in the world. And when I get a card, so this card is 26, and I get this card that says that's 2 and 6 is 8. That's the infinity symbol. And I tell people, I said, they're telling you have enough time. Okay. They're telling you have enough time to do the things you want to do. But really, it really pinged in my spidey senses watching his interview. It was so touching and heartbreaking. And he said, you don't have enough time. You really, if there's something you want to do it now. Okay. And so what I want to say about that, as we have this card, this gratitude card that says, look up to the light, bring that gratitude back down into us, and know that it's 8. You have the infinity symbol. We are infinite beings of love and light, and we do have all the time that we need, but not a second more, which doesn't mean we have all the time in the world. It means we have all the time we need, which means we got to get going. We got to do the stuff that we came here to do. We have all the time we need. It's different. Okay. That doesn't mean we have time to lollygag around. We got to get it going and get our stuff done. We have all the time we need. Okay. And I want to leave you with that, because gratitude is such an important and powerful emotion and powerful energy. We have all the time we need. We don't have all the time in the world. So the things that you are wanting to bring into your life, to manifest, to create, to unfold into your life, the time is now to do it. The time is now to get things started and to be moving in those directions. All right. So just to have one little recap, in case if you joined us late, we are so excited that the Unspooling Your DNA class has moved to YouTube. And so it is now the class and the workbook together. It is so exciting. So when you purchase that on my website, it's going to be able to direct you right to the YouTube. It will give you an individualized link for the YouTube, so you'll be able to watch that video. And that is just for you. And then also that we have on March 1st, we're going to be opening enrollment for the Empowered Empath Method. I am so excited about this, to help people really own their empathic energies and really own their skills and their abilities as a blessing, and really strengthen it specifically for women as well. And this open enrollment is going to also include a live call with me. And once that open enrollment is done, the class will still be available, but then it'll just be a recording of that live call. So if you want to have more time with me live, you can do that with, so be watching your emails and watching this space for March 1st to open the enrollment for the Empowered Empath Method. And if you're available on Sunday night, this Sunday at 7 o'clock, do go over to the Lilydale Assembly Facebook page, Lilydale, Lilydale Assembly page. And as soon as I get some graphics on that, I will, from the radio show host, I will be posting those as well. But at 7 o'clock Eastern time, we're going to be talking about grief, and it's going to be a fantastic conversation about grief education on the Lilydale Assembly radio show. So I'm really excited. That is hosted on their Facebook page, Lilydale Assembly. So lots going on. Super excited. And I look forward to seeing you all next Monday. Remember, you are loved. You are so incredibly loved. Everything that is happening in the universe is happening for your benefit, even if it may not feel like it right now. I will see you next week. Mwah.